My name is Floyd Marinescu. I'm the founder of UBI Works Canada, and this message is for the nearly 30,000 Canadians who signed the petition asking for the federal government to implement an emergency basic income as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We're shutting down the petition today because while we asked the government for $1,000 a month delivered to all Canadians, what they are delivering is $2,000 a month to those Canadians whose incomes were most affected by the crisis. The difference between when their programs was first announced and what's now being called the Canada Emergency Response Benefit is that it's simple, fast, and streamlined with minimal need to go in and re-qualify during the 4-month period. That's exactly what we asked for. This is in no small part because every MP in Canada was getting daily emails generated by your petitions from concerned constituents telling them that ad hoc programs, this patchwork was not enough. A basic income model is what was needed. In the span of a week, trying to help Canadians, the government came to realize that what we've been saying all along, that a basic income model is the quickest and most efficient intervention. Some politicians were pushing for a one-time payment to all Canadians, while we pushed for a monthly basic income. The recurring nature of this emergency basic income is what will allow Canadians to make longer-term plans and stop wondering if they'll be able to make ends meet next month. This is not the unconditional basic income that we've all asked for. It doesn't go to everyone, including those who are still in working poverty right now, and we still don't know how difficult it'll be to access those funds. So we'll be waiting to see how the details roll out and maybe launching new petitions if we find that it leaves too many people behind. The Canada Emergency Response Benefit is on its own not an economic stimulus. It's an income substitution for people who are working, many of whom were making a lot more than $2,000 a month before that. It won't stimulate growth since we're intentionally shutting down parts of the economy, so it is sustenance more than it is stimulus. But it is what we need right now as we weather this pandemic, so people don't have to fear falling below basic needs, and that is why it is a form of basic income. What $2,000 a month delivers is hope and confidence is what the economy needs right now. And in conjunction with the increases to the Canada Child Benefit and to the GST tax credit, which goes to the lowest income Canadians, as well as the extra programs that were done for Indigenous, the homeless, vulnerable women, and pretty extraordinary supports for the business community, this is an amazing step. As Canadians, we should be proud. Nowhere on this planet is any country giving $2,000 a month unconditionally for 4 months to those most affected by the crisis. Now I invite you to imagine, what if the payments didn't stop? In 1944, the government introduced what's called the family allowance as a measure to help reduce the length of the recession caused by World War II and as an economic stimulus. 76 years later, we still have it. It's called the Canada Child Benefit and has been supported and endorsed by both Conservative and Liberal parties alike over many generations. And in 2020, the government introduced the Canada Emergency Response Benefit as a temporary measure. Together, we can ensure that this isn't too temporary. And what if everyone got this? Then it would surely stimulate the economy, especially if it doesn't stop. When you can make long-term plans with your life, you can afford to take risks. And risk-taking is what drives economic growth and prosperity. You can afford to move to new cities. You can afford to wait and retrain for the job that you really want. Not any job that you can find, just to pay the bills tomorrow. And what if we already had it? We would have seen the weeks of bickering and stalled negotiations in our government would not have been there. We would have received the help immediately. It would have been very straightforward for the government to simply increase the payments during this period of economic crisis. The effects on business and families would not have been nearly as bad, and that is the point of a basic income. It is the guarantee that you know you will never fall behind basic needs no matter what happens to you or in the world. Even before this crisis, we had been advocating for an unconditional basic income in Canada because technology is displacing jobs. Every recession we've had in modern history has left the middle class a bit smaller and the bottom half worse in terms of income growth and the ability to generate wealth. And we expect this next recession to be even worse due to the technologies that exist today. 42% of all the tasks Canadians perform at work today can already be automated with existing technologies, let alone the advances in artificial intelligence that are being predicted to come down really soon. That's why UBI Works is fighting for an unconditional basic income in Canada. If we implement a permanent one, we can finally have an economic recovery that is inclusive, that ensures that all of us can prosper and pursue our potential as technology continues to displace jobs. So for those of you who signed the petition, welcome. We look forward to working together with you to make this happen. In the meantime, stay tuned. We're going to be working to make sure that Canada's coronavirus response programs work for all Canadians. Thank you very much.